Hi again, guys and gals on YouTube. David back with another video. Today I've got something a little bit different for you. It's a 15,000 lumen flashlight. I wish it was a 25,000 lumen flashlight. A 15,000 lumen flashlight. Still freaking amazing considering it's a pop can size light, which is, you know, only this big. It's like you can take it with you. And it's a modified light, only available at skylumen.com, and it's an Olight X7 Marauder that has been reworked by VN. You can see here he's got his mark on the light, so that distinguishes the light. The lights wear that mark with pride. Not to mention the owners. Okay, so before we get going, I want to talk about I got these lights in the background here, so my next two videos I should have comparison with the K70 versus the new Nightwalker BKFA09S thrower lights, two dedicated, very dedicated thrower lights. And then I've got comparison, these all these are XHP35HI. Wow, I didn't even notice that. Okay, so then I've got these four in the front, and that's a separate video where I'm going to compare I'm going to compare the S25L-R from EagleTac with these two Army Tech lights, the Predator Pro XHP35HI and the Doberman Pro XHP35HI, and the last one will be the AceBeam EC60VN modified light. So we're going to just talk about sort of like take these outside and see how they look, and then we'll talk about what the differences are between them. But for right now, if I can stop knocking batteries over, we're going to talk about the Olight X7VN 15,000 lumen light. So real quick before I get into this light, Van has told me that he's Olight is coming out with the successor to this light, which is the X7R, and that's going to have 12,000 lumens, and that's already confirmed by Olight. So right now, this light here that I'm holding already thoroughly beats that light as far as I'm concerned. The driver in this is much better than Olight's stock driver. Not that Olight's stock driver is bad, it is definitely decent, but it's not driver VNX2. This is like fully customizable. You can, so long press will give you maximum, double click will give you strobe, always. Long press is max on, and then click on off, which is real easy, and then when it's on, just hold the button down to cycle through. And right now I've got it at 100%, 50%, and then 5%. I don't know if you can see that. But it's fully programmable, so if I wanted to say like 7 different modes, he has that in here too, or if just like 2 modes, just high and low, or if you just want only like 100%, then you can switch the UI. You click the button 10 times, just go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and then it flickers, and then you've got like I don't know, something like 15 different UIs to choose from. So say you want number 11 for some reason because it's got strobe and memory, and it only has 2 modes that you want. So then you go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, and then it flickers, and then you're in that UI until you do 10 clicks again and move to a different UI for whatever your needs are. So it's very, very versatile using this driver. And then another thing is the Olight is coming out with the X9. So Vin also told me to expect the X9VN, and if any of you don't know, the X9 is a light from Olight that's gonna have 25,000 lumens stock, so it's pretty kind of a big deal, you know. And then I can only just imagine 30,000 plus lumens with the X9VN, so that's another thing to look out for, guys. All right, so with those messages aside, let's go ahead and get on to talking about the X7VN 15,000 lumen. Okay, so we've got the Olight X7VN modified flashlight, only available at skylumen.com. And before we take a look at the light itself, I just want to talk about the batteries, because you really need to have the right kind of battery if you're going to get this light. Then the batteries are an integral part of this particular light. And they have to be high drain cells. I know some of you are shocked to hear me say that it turns out that we need high drain cells, but yeah, once again, high drain cells. And what we have here is, these are the Sanyo 18650GA Sanyo Panasonic 3500 milliamp cell. These are 10 amp max, and they're high drains, but they're not really high drains. They're more kind of mellow high drains. They're not like for more hardcore application. These, but they are still high drain cells. And then of course the LG MJ1, which is identical to the one I just mentioned, 10 amp max, 3500 milliamp hour. Then we have the Samsung 30Q. These are higher drain than the previous mentioned. These are 3000 milliamp, so we get less milliamp hours as we're gaining more amp potential, which is kind of trend you'll notice. So 3000 milliamp hours, and then these are max, like sort of 15 to 20 amp max, which they do a fair job. They do accomplish. These are good, good high drain cells, 3000 milliamp hours. And then identical to that Samsung 30Q is the LG HG2, and this is the same thing. 30 amps, sort of 15 or 30 milliamp hour, 15 to 20 amp max draw. Good cells, both of them, identically good. I get the same thing when I use either one of these. I see the same results. And then these are LG, and I don't have any Sony cells. I wish I had some Sony cells to throw in here with them. The Sony cells tend to perform just a little hair better than these with their, like there's a Sony 3000, a Sony 2500 to match these two. Not with this one. From what I understand, they just a hair better. So I'm not sure. I have to get my hands on some and test them. But these are 2500 milliamp hours, and they're LG HE2. This the red one is the HE2. The yellow one is the HE4, and they're the same. They're basically, the HE4 is newer than the HE2, but from everything I see, they're pretty much the same, identical. They're 2500 milliamp hour, 20 to 25 amp max. I forget exactly what it is. It's like 20 to 25 amp max. So you'll get more amps out of both of these than you will from these, but these are more milliamp hours. So depending on your particular application, what you want, what you might need, you can select the cell that's right for you. For this one, it's gonna be Brightest using these, and I'll show you guys in just a second. And then it'll be second brightest with these 3000 milliamp, and third brightest with these 3500 milliamp hour cells. So these ones aren't really, I don't consider these ideal for this light, but either of these would be fine. But let's rev up the old Lumen thing, and then we'll see what we get. Okay. I have LG HE2 2500 milliamp hour cells in here, and we're going to check for Lumens ANSI spec. So we'll go ahead and start. And we'll just give it 30 seconds. And we get 1390. Okay, so 1390. And we had 2 zeros this time because I moved the decimal over. I moved the setting up to the hundreds place from the tens place. So that's one more 0. And times 0.111 equals 15,429 lumens from a pop can size light ANSI spec. That's pretty amazing. Now I'm using the Samsung 30Q cells. These are 3000 milliamp hour, and instead of being 20-25 amp max like the LG HE2s that I was using, these are rather 15 to 20 amp max. versus a 20 to 25 amp max in the other ones. But they're longer, you know, they got more milliamp hours, more capacity. Samsung 30Q, let's see how we do. Alright. Oh, start the timer. Oops. We'll stop a little bit early, like 28 seconds or so. Not that it really matters, but just to make it fair. And 1310. Alright. 1310 for Samsung 30Q. Add 2 zeros times 0.111. 14,541 lumens for Samsung 30Q. Now for Sanyo Panasonic 18650GA 3500 milliamp hour cells, and these are 10 amp max. So the same thing as like the LG MJ1. These are basically the same exact thing. 3500 milliamp hours, 10 amps max. Realistically, not quite that high, but still considered high drains for a lot of applications. So here we have it, 18650GA slash MJ1. See what we get. Right off the bat, I can tell we're not getting as much lumens with these cells as some of the others. However, these may last longer. Okay, 27, 28. And we get 1228. Alright. Right, so with the testing, we get for, let's see, LG HE2, we get 15,429 lumens, ANSI spec. Samsung 30Q, 14,541 lumens. And then the 18650GA, we get 13,630 ANSI spec lumens. So that's pretty exciting, you know. I mean, like that's basically what these types of cells are designed for, is to do this. I mean, you can put these high drain cells, you can put them in your older lights, and they'll kick out a few more lumens for you. They really will, you know. In some cases, it'll be significant, but they're really designed to handle things like this. This is what these types of cells are meant to be used, you know, for, why we have them in the first place. So that's pretty cool. This Olight, or, you know, brought to you by SkyLumen.com, modified Olight X7VN, really brings out, you know, shows what the different high drain cells can do. You know, it's taking them to their max basically. So pretty good. Right, so that was the X7VN, available at SkyLumen.com. Enough chatter, we'll go ahead and take it outside and take a look. You guys please like and subscribe. I'll be back soon with more interesting videos, more flashlights to check out. And one more thing, I'll have a video of how to make your own flashlight diffuser. I got a pretty neat way to do it. You can make your own custom diffuser to diffuse the beam for any flashlight that you have. Really easy to do, so check that out too. Alright, thanks you guys. Let's take a look. This light does get hot. A lot of flood. A lot of flood.